So I just want to say a few words about Bill C-9. I'm obviously concerned, as many others are. Looks like this thing's gonna pass and come into law. Um, you know, we're at a time when it's a stretch to say we have shared values. There's division, and that division where we haven't come together around something broadly agreed upon or transcendent even. Morality in Canada can rather dangerously be defined by one single political entity. And of course, that political entity may have the power to do so and to implement legislation with fewer than 40% of Canadians supporting them. Through the centuries, this kind of cultural, social, and spiritual vacuum has repeatedly not gone well. This kind of thing can result in horrible outcomes. And I think concern here is warranted further by the fact that there's a broader context of restrictions on freedom and privacy. So perhaps that's why politicians have worked so hard to help us loathe ourselves and our history as Canadians, and to convince us that no Canadian culture even exists. And I think one day we're going to be here, and there'll be a conservative government again, and we need to remember these times because we can naively support our own party of choice with our own set of values and ideals, and we may support more aggressive imposing of particular views and morals. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander, they say. I want to say this, that Bill C-9 is redundant and essentially a signal that this government does not trust Canadians and wishes to increase and their stranglehold, and also to reserve the right to penalize those who fail to align with their respective idea of Canada. This bill and Canadian law more broadly is increasingly and simultaneously putting people of faith at risk and potentially unfairly advantaging some others. Bill C-9 has the potential to be misused and seems to edge us further to the kind of misuse of authority we see at this time worsening in the UK, where people are being arrested daily for what they think or share in the public domain. Religion aside, freedom of speech is a bedrock right, and it is a Canadian value. So to this government, I certainly reciprocate your message of mistrust, and I believe they projected this mistrust wrongly towards people of faith and decent, concerned Canadians more broadly across the board through this legislation. This lower threshold for determining what hate is has the potential to be misused in its present form. I'm not going to preach a sermon, but I will. A Bible passage came to mind. It's St. Paul in his letter to Timothy. He said, "The law is laid down not for the innocent, but for the lawless." In other words, the one who is motivated rightly by love and holy pursuit would need no rules imposed. Of course, none of us is perfect. I accept that I'm flawed. I'm a sinner in need of grace. But for my government to so diagnose me, to presume that I'm likely to commit an offense or to do something dangerous, to become dangerous, and to suggest that they know my heart and my motive is something I do take issue with. There are quite simply areas where government does not belong. As a Christian, I can both live and endorse Christian scripture and values while respecting the rights of others to live differently than me and my house. I also believe we must grant others latitude, even and especially where I believe they are wrong, and even when they're spouting something I view as lunacy or stupidity. It seems to me that is essential to maintain a secular and free Canada, even with this strange area we hold in tension with this medieval institution, this ancient institution of the monarchy, and even in Canadian law, and an acknowledgement of the divine. And so I love that we've held these things together in intention together as Canadians, and so that's where I stand. I think government needs to stand down, step out, and I just hope for a new government so some of these rather draconian laws can be turfed. It's time. Thanks.